Here's why the Republican win in the Tennessee special election for the House of Representatives really does matter. You might be a Republican and go, how does it matter? We got a W. That's all that really matters. That's true. It would have been catastrophic for Republicans if they had lost, given how close the House of Representatives already is. If you're a Democrat, you're going, well, this is a big deal. And the Republican response is, well, why? Well, because it was pretty close. But that's not the only reason why it matters. The closeness and why it was close is what matters. In other words, the 9-point win is not insignificant, right? That seems like a fairly big win. But in comparison with how much Trump won in Tennessee, more than like 20 points in that district, it is huge. Now, you again might go, but Trump wasn't on the ballot. Had Trump been on the ballot, his base would have showed out. So it's really just a reflection of the fact that Trump wasn't on the ballot. But notice, and this is important, the reason why Trump wasn't a big part of that election, like he wasn't going to rallies and stuff like that for the Republican candidate, is because the Republican candidate didn't want him to. Trump did a couple of small things. He was like a little bit of like one virtual campaign, like one thing over the phone, but he was not asked. Normally Republicans are like, please, sir, please come do a rally, so on and so forth. Yes, the Republican was endorsed by Trump, but he kept a lot of distance from Trump. And that should really, really worry Republicans if you're Trump Republicans, because it means that the Republican voters and the politicians are starting to see this, are starting to pull away just a little bit from Donald Trump. But here's why it really, really, really matters. If you're watching this video right now, you are way more invested in politics than most people are. If you're aware that there was a special election in Tennessee, you're not in Tennessee, you're not in that district, you are way more invested in politics than most people in the United States actually are. If you're aware of things like, oh, Donald Trump is going after like James Comey, right? Or something like that, you're more invested in politics than most people actually are. And you might, whichever direction, you're like, yay, I'm glad he's going after Comey. Or you're like, that's terrifying. That's bad for democracy. He's using the justice system to attack people. Either way, you're invested. What are most people actually invested in? They're trying to feed their families, right? They just want to be able to go to work to make enough money to feed their families. What the closeness of this election shows is that even Republicans are starting to doubt whether or not Donald Trump and Republican politicians in general actually can benefit them in the one thing that they vote on. People will, let's be honest, people will toss out the democracy. They will toss the country out on its ear if they think that it means that they'll have more money in their pocket and that they can take care of their families. And Republicans made them believe that if they sacrificed a lot of stuff, that they would be able to take care of their families. And now they're realizing it may not be true.